Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome to being here wherever you are on this amazing planet. I'm Ariel.
And I am Shia.
Yes, welcome to being here and the happiness factor. We were discussing happiness before we started.
It's elusive. It's hard. Well, here's the thing. In the United States, in the Constitution, it says that there's this pursuit of happiness.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
There you go.
But pursuit is like a pursuit car. It's the car that chases behind everything. You're always endlessly pursuing something in the future, and right now is not enough.
That's about why people aren't happy, because they disagree with the circumstances as they're showing up in their life. Now, here's the thing. We talk about listening. We need to talk about listening because people don't listen. What they do is they think about what's being said, so the information never really gets in there. See, true listening is allowing what's being said to come into you rather than process it through what you already believe is reality.
I actually imagine many of us tune into this podcast to drop into that state of listening. That is not something that was primarily taught in our childhood, but is a state that we can develop as a natural one when we're here.
It's a skill set that you can build upon. The other thing is this. Ariel and I finish each other's sentences. So if I add something in, please don't offend yourself.
And vice versa.
Exactly. And if you do offend yourself, enjoy it.
If it makes you happy.
If it makes you happy, have some fun with being offended.
Before we started recording, we met with the guests that we have today and with our producer, Judy, who you won't hear from today. She's in the background. And we were just chatting about diverse things. And we got on to talking about rocks. Sometimes when I find an interesting rock, it tickles my fancy, but my happy button. And so I was happily showing rocks. Man, if you can be happy about rocks, you can be happy about just about anything. It has to do with fully engaging with where you are and the perfection of the moment. And that's a challenge because lots of times life does not show up the way you would prefer.
Or it never does. Rarely does. Even if it does, it's never quite right enough. We've been trained by the culture we grew up in to complain. That no matter what is going on, there's always something to complain about. And here's the thing. The universe, your life, shows up perfectly as you have prepared it to show up. What I mean by that is it isn't an accident that somebody who's on the street, lives on the street, because is on the street. They have done or not done certain things that have made their future inevitable. The universe shows up as a reflection of the way you're being in your life.
Now, I got to add into that randomnicity. So, for instance, last night at a Living Made Easy seminar, our good friend Eric was talking about his wife, Holly, and he's been they've both been very upfront that she's had a brain tumor, and it is something that went in, the background for quite a period of time. It was not problematic. And then starting last year, in November, it became problematic again. And she was in the hospital for months and months, and she's under radiation therapy and learning to do all sorts of things, such as walk again. And he was talking about, and so this is not something they planned. It's not their life aimed them here. And yet here they are. And he was talking about how awesome it was to be here for the little things, where Holly suddenly had an inspiration. Let's go for a walk. And they took her walker up and down the halls of their Brooklyn apartment building, and how awesome it was to hear the dog barking behind one door, or the smell of somebody's cooking at another door, or avoiding a child's galoshes sitting outside another door. Like the that he was really here for this amazing journey down a hallway, rather than having the hallway be that area of time and that physical area between him and where he's headed. And I really see that as a possibility for all of us, that we're here for where we are.
What you're talking about is experiencing your life rather than thinking about your life.
Yes.
Yeah, most of us are lost in thinking about ourselves.
Let's take our first guest, shall we?
Okay.
All right.
Bless
Use
you.
me. Woo. Naz, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon from the UK. I know it's probably a little bit earlier there. My name is Naz. I am from Farringdon in Oxfordshire in the UK, and Oxfordshire is about west of London. And it's really good to be here and be with you, and hear what you've been speaking about, because I have a tendency to drive toward things. And what was really cool is recently I took 3 weeks out, um, and totally slowed down and unhooked from work and unhooked from everything to experience that moment of just being where I was. And I've recently gone back to work, and it's really cool because although I have my mind wanting me to speed up, and I had that this morning, I had some unexpected errand to run with the car, and I had to hop in and go, and therefore it meant taking a deviation, and I wouldn't get the things done. And it was really cool not to worry about that, but to let that just be as it was. And I took a pleasant journey around country lanes. So I do have a tendency to drive, and I'm going to be starting work soon. I teach, so I'll be going back to school soon. And I guess part of me is a bit concerned, worried. Again, I'm worrying about the future, about I'm going to start speeding up again, really. And hence,
Well, you're going to start speeding up again. You already have.
yeah.
Look, but trying to slow yourself down is like giving yourself instructions about a better way to be than the way you're being.
You now identified slow as better than fast.
And
Ah.
and you see, look, in the current moment, Naz, in this moment, do you really have any control over how you are?
No.
I mean, if you look at it, really,
Yeah,
you're
seriously.
exactly. If you're upset, you're upset. If you're feeling good, you're feeling good. If you're not feeling good, if you're complaining about something, that's what's going on in the current moment. The current moment is unchangeable. It's immutable. It is what it is, and it shows up as it does. And you have a commentary going on in your thought processes. And that commentary is, I should be slowing down. I should be here for my life, not worrying about what I'm going to teach when I go to school.
You've seen right into my head, Shire, for sure. Yeah.
Well, that's what I do, you know.
Well, I also know that we're recording this before you actually start the school year, and this will be released like a month after you've started school. And you miss one factor, Naz. You are not an alone individual. You are part of a culture and part of a culture in your school. And I guarantee you, there are other teachers, administrators, and students who are having a forward thinking worry fest about the year ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think about that actually. Yeah.
When you go that way, then you think, oh gosh, and you're trying to replicate the experience you had while on vacation for 3 weeks rather than just letting that feed you body and soul and next. And sometimes, fast may be exciting and where your happy place is.
May be appropriate.
I got up quite early this morning. We're working on next year's calendar, and so I met with the designer, and we've been doing things. And then I found that going downstairs to bring my coffee cup or run a few extra errands, I actually was like almost running them, and it was so much fun to feel my body in action and move from room to room and not be bouncing into the walls, but be where I was. Slow is great when you're slow, and moving quickly is great when you're there and moving quickly. There's not like the slow is preferable.
Well, you've got this dictator
Yes.
that lives in your head and tells you what you're doing wrong, what you should be doing differently. Well, man, if you can't be different than you are in this moment, why don't you just relax and enjoy being you?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you see, and that's the other thing. There's nothing wrong with you exactly as you are.
Stressed, not stressed, happy, not happy.
There's nothing wrong with you.
Cool.
I mean, I'm not going to be foolish enough to ask you, do you see a therapist?
No.
Yeah.
See, look, trying to get better says that where you are is wrong. But where you are is the only way you can be given everything that's preceded this moment. So, we're on a continuum of life. And you're born, you live, you die. And some of us pass on our genetics to others, and they're born and live and die. And, we got a mosquito zapper the other day. It's like a tennis racket that has powered by a couple of batteries that zaps the mosquitoes, kills them.
Cool.
Those mosquitoes are just as viable a life form as we are.
Yeah.
So the ants of the billions of insects that exist, they're just as viable a life form, except we think we are better than all that because we have this supercomputer that gives us no peace.
Yeah.
That complains to us about how we're going about our lives. You said something earlier that was very interesting, how driven you are to get things done. Well, that's an asset.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
it's driven to find the moment.
As if it can.
And as if you're not there already. You sent us a video. It was a lovely video of you in a rainforest and the rain coming down and you enjoying it. And here's the thing, we have these experiences, like I'm holding a rock, I'm experiencing the rock. And then, or you're experiencing the rain, then the mind steps in and goes, here's the moment. And that would set me out in search for more rocks, or you in search for more rain. It's like it codifies your experience in order to survive by being more that which you've identified as good and less that which you've identified as bad, which is the mind. It's the dichotomies, good, bad, right, wrong, better, worse.
I love that. That's so cool.
And then there's experience, and experience is fleeting. You cannot hold on to it.
Experience isn't talking to you about itself.
No, you have the experience, and then the that mechanical thing
Talks
to
about
you.
it.
That's very cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's,
See, look,
yes.
you're perfect exactly the way you are. You're a perfect you. You're a lousy me, see? But you're a perfect you. And each of us, human beings, are uniquely ourselves and perfectly that. But you've been trained, you've been socialized into thinking what's beautiful, what's better, what's worse.
What's successful,
And so you strive to achieve what you think is a better you. Well, that striving is the search for happiness.
Oh.
What is it search?
pursuit
The
of.
pursuit of happiness. As if you got to happiness, it would be better. But as soon as you get to happiness, you try to hold on to it. Now it's gone. See, life is about the experience of this moment. That's it. Now, everything else you think up about how the future, how to hold on to this moment. I feel good, so how can I keep this? Well, don't keep it. Allow your life to experience itself.
Oh, wow. That's, oh, thank you. I really felt that. I really felt your words.
Nice.
Yeah, we put so much pressure on ourselves to be what we think we ought to be. And how old were we when we thought we needed to be bigger and stronger?
Very young.
Very
Yeah.
young. When I grow up, when I can go to school like the big kids.
When I can have that piece of gum, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for being with us today. Really a treat.
Yes.
Really a treat to see you.
So lovely to be with you both. Thank you.
Mm. Hey, you want to hear about transformation? We've got one of our listeners about to tell you about what's happened in their life out of listening to being here.
Hi, I'm Eric in Brooklyn, and participating in Ariel and Shaya's Living Made Easy seminars just makes my life more delightful than I ever imagined.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shire's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
We're inviting you. You are invited to our Living Made Easy seminars. They are 2-hour virtual seminars. We hold them on Monday nights, Saturdays, and one Tuesday a month. You can check the website and register. You can come to any one virtual seminar and come as often as you like. We have several weekend seminars coming up in person and virtually. First, we have Thursday, October 31st in Hamburg, Germany, the Freedom to Breathe. And then the weekend seminar there is
The Art of Being Happy, and that's October.
November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. October 31 is that.
Yeah, right.
It's a little confusing how it's written here. And then Relax into Life is our next virtual seminar, December 7th and 8th. And of course, any weekend seminar is the prerequisite to join us in Costa Rica in 2025.
And we have Leap into Life also January 4th and 5th.
Yes, and a lot of the people who are coming with us to Costa Rica are doing the weekend seminar ahead.
They should.
Just to
gain
that momentum.
Jumpstart. And then Costa Rica becomes like a second stage rocket.
There you go. So if you want to join us for anything or sign up for our newsletter, which has awesome blogs and videos and whatnot, you can go to transformationmadeeasy.com. Let's take our next guest.
Yes.
All right, Anna, welcome to being here. Tell people where you are zooming in from.
Hello, Ariel and Shaya. I'm zooming in from Hamburg, Germany, and I'm really excited because it's my first podcast with you.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
That's
realize
great.
that.
so let's see how it goes.
Yes, let's. What can we do for you?
Well, the topic resonated with me a lot, happiness, and there have been quite challenging times in my life over the past years. And being a mother of two young kids, 7 and 9, my question is, if I'm not happy or if I'm not in a super state, how is it possible to transfer happiness to my kids, which is my goal or my vision of a good mother is to be enthusiastic, motivating, always having the right words, always staying calm when they're not in a good mood. And frustrating for me is that I'm only human, and sometimes I feel like the pressure is put onto them. So question is, how can I be a happy mom if I'm not?
The answer is I don't know.
I do.
See, what
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
know is that you can upset yourself. You can follow a thought, and when it's contrary to what you would prefer, one of your reactions is to get upset. As if your getting upset is somehow going to change the fact that you're not getting what you want. So you could bring awareness to how you're being without judging yourself for how you're being. See, there are 3 principles to instantaneous transformation. The first one is anything you don't want or don't like persists. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. If you say no to something, it persists. Now, this is a very funny image because I'm looking at you via Zoom and you have your fingers in your ears. Now, of course, you're pressing your ear pods into your ears to hear better, but it's a very funny image that me speaking to you and you're holding your fingers in your ears
like
you don't
la,
wanna,
la, la, la.
you don't want to hear this. I like.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Don't be sorry.
It's
It's all perfect. Now, look, on one level, you don't want to hear this, even though you say you do. You know, that part of you that wants the right to get upset, that somehow gets off on being upset, gets turned on by it.
It is a convenient, inconvenient part of your life that you say you don't want, but when anything might shake it free, I'm speaking for myself, not you in particular, Anna. There's a part of me that wants to hold on to the things that I'm familiar with, even if I perceive them as problematic.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So you know, this is, look, you're planning to get upset again and asking me how not to.
Well,
but you see, if you weren't planning on doing it, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You'd hang out with your boys, you'd discover how beautiful they are, how wonderful they are, how much fun they are, and you wouldn't worry about how they're going to grow up.
True, absolutely.
Yeah, but you see, your mind is a survival machine, and it wants to see itself as a good, loving mother. In your case, you know,
Yes, and that the circumstances are perfect.
Well,
And
they
that
are perfect. They don't fit your pictures of perfect. Perfect is some construct
so
from
perfect,
movies
perfect
or
is a happy scene of singing and dancing and having good food and drink and playing with your kids, and they love you. It's all perfect. But the reality is, life sucks. See, this is a
Mhm.
rough world that we live in, where
Yes,
where people are dying in different places, violently. It's not an easy, wonderful, la la land. However, when you're willing to be as you are without trying to get better, you'll get better naturally. The first principle is anything you resist persists, grows stronger, and dominates your life. The third principle is anything you allow to be exactly as it is, and that includes you, completes itself in an instant. See,
and second principle,
life shows up exactly as it does. So you can either persist those things you say you don't want or don't like by resisting them, or you can notice them and in the seeing of them, have them complete themselves, those behavioral patterns.
You know, when Chai says you can see them and notice them, I've known you for a while, for certain more than 9 years, because we knew you before you were pregnant with your eldest son. And whilst we are not around you that frequently because you're in Hamburg and we're here, and virtual seminars are relatively new, within the last few years. There is something that I've noticed about you over the years. And it is something that,
Don't worry, it's not bad.
no, it's something that is so crystallized in you that I think it's a real gift for me and for everybody else. When you are upset, your world view is always in a problem solution framework. So if you're seeing that you don't have dinner made yet, oh gosh, I haven't made dinner, and it's showing up as a problem rather than simple, I haven't made dinner yet, fact, that is just a symptom or an indicator that you're upset. And you haven't caught that when you're upset, you take actions to fix the problem that will never fix it. So if I go back to before you had your kids, clearly you wanted these boys, but at way back, you had the idea that my problem is I don't have children, and having children will fix this problem. You have the children, and it's a whole new set of problems. And it's
yes,
that you shouldn't have your kids, that you wouldn't want to not have your kids, except for I'm sure there are moments you're like, go back to where you came from, anytime you're upset. But you're now worrying about how to be a good role model for them. That's your new problem.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and they have a role model. It's called the internet. They see all sorts of possible roles that they can play via the internet. See, they're connected up to possibilities that you couldn't even imagine when you.
And you so do not see how incredible you are. So you're trying to make yourself incredible when you already are.
Thank you. That makes me very happy now.
Authentic. You're going to show them this picture of la la happy all the time when you're not? You know?
Yeah.
Being authentic allows your kids to see reality
True.
over top of your experience where you're pretending to be happy when you're not. That teaches them to lie.
Yeah.
And that teaches them that they have to be false and be a marionette, a puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were times I loved my parents. There were times I was conflicted with my parents, particularly in the teenagers. But I remember once coming home from school, somebody had been mean to me, something happened, and I was so upset and I was sobbing. And I remember my mom getting on her knees and facing me. That's how short I was, because she was a pretty short lady. And saying, I wish I could take this hurt from you, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't encouraging me to be happy, and she wasn't trying to have a solution, and she wasn't trying to be upbeat. It was just a fact, and it has always stayed with me as
You
such
see,
a
your presence, Anna, is what's powerful, not what you do. But who you are has gravitas,
Mm-hmm.
makes a difference when you are there. Your sons don't need a happy mommy. They need a mother who's there when you're with them, be with them, not trying to get them to be different than they are. Excuse me.
May I just close the door? I'll be right back. Sorry.
Go.
I was looking about how he said, feel free to be silly while listening to this enlightening episode of Being Here. And happiness may just sneak up on you when you aren't looking. I actually find that that's true for me. Happiness is something that happens like a spontaneous, like a bubble.
When you leave you alone,
Mhm.
it can show up. When you're preoccupied trying to get somewhere that you think is better than where you are, it doesn't show up.
I was speaking to our
Because no two things can occupy. Second principle, no two things can occupy you at the same time.
Yes.
So if you're busy trying to get somewhere, what are you doing? You writing that down?
Yeah, I am.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
That's then you're planning for a future about how to fix you in the future when you get lost again.
That writing it
But
down.
listening,
Yes.
if you actually hear what I say, your life will transform if you'll let it. But you can be obstinate, you can be hard-headed.
Well, you're writing
No,
it
not you,
down.
Anna. Excuse me. You're never hard.
You write it down so you don't have to listen in the moment.
Right.
With the thank you so much. That was so good. Shia was talking earlier, when you can hear this when we release it, about having the expectation of it being upset again in the future. And so then you're going to get tips, but it's the plan to have it. You're only going to write down what he says
If you think you're going to
help
do this
you
again.
in the future.
See, the truth of the matter is, you don't have to write anything down. You have to be here. You don't have to, but it is probably supportive of well-being if you're here for this moment of your life.
Well, even having to get up and go close the door because you were being annoyed by something in your environment.
Well, I saw your kid's shadow go by.
Ah, wow, that's quite amazing that you saw that. Yeah. So it was a perfect example, really. I set everything up, everything to be perfect, and then it showed up just differently.
No, it showed up perfect. See, it showed up perfect. That his shadow went by was perfect. You want to be a good mother, stop picking on yourself and stop picking on him for being him. See, he wants your attention. That's why he was there.
Yeah.
Well, you could set aside a minute or 2 or 10 to hang out with him. not to get him to be a better person in the future.
But because you genuinely enjoy his company.
Yeah, and discover who he really is, not that little annoyance that keeps asking you for attention.
Wow, thank you. It's
It all-
beautiful.
Do you see how you find how that conversation that you think is you finds his way of being annoying?
Yes, I can see that
He's a
totally.
man. Hold on. He's a man, you see. He may be a man in a smaller body, but he's a man.
He's your
You got two,
opportunity to celebrate men.
yeah, you got two men children, and they're men rather than children. They're men in small bodies. But if you want to really relate to men, and apparently you do,
Because you got two of them.
actually, she's got three. She's got a boyfriend too.
Hmm.
Still have a boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. She's got three.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
be,
Three's a charm.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could have fun with them.
You can't if you're being hard on yourself because it all blossoms out from how you treat you. So you may as well have some fun with you, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Be kind to Anna. This is Be Kind to Anna week. Month, year,
Okay.
life. Okay.
Like, okay. Wow.
Be kind to you. And you
Yes.
see how that affects your universe.
Mhm.
Now, you've been being hard on yourself for years. It never made it turn out good, did it?
No.
But
Well,
you know, don't
Well,
expect that to go away, Anna. I find
yeah. You see, here's the thing. It's as though we're dropped into a movie set.
mhm.
And that movie set is not going to change. So you can either resist the movie set or you can live your life.
yeah, this morning I woke up kind of physically bleary. And I had projects to do. As I mentioned, I was working on our calendar project, and I wasn't happy about it.
Mhm.
I wasn't unhappy about it. If I had the expectation that I needed to be excited in that moment, all I'm going to do is make myself miserable. So
Mhm.
it's really about allowing myself to be authentically how I am and, allow it to enjoy myself. And part of the creative process is sometimes I look at stuff and it's gelling. I remember when we built our conference center in Bali, Indonesia. They excavated to put down the pilings, which were the rebar and the cement, so it wouldn't fall off the hillside. They excavated for what seemed like forever. And it was like, when is this going to look like something? Well, they needed to put the footers down. It wasn't apparently a very exciting, happy making moment. But sometimes you're putting down footers. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been really relieving, and I feel happy, and I'm gonna enjoy happiness and spread happiness by being authentic and just being me. Thank you.
Good. I wouldn't make a declaration like that.
You will when you do.
Yeah. If you're being happy, then you'll spread happiness. If you're not being happy, you'll spread something else.
Or about noticing what you're spreading.
That's right.
Something stinks.
Thank you so much, Ariel and Shaya. It's always a big pleasure to be with you.
And enjoy your sons and your boyfriend.
And welcome to your first podcast. That was good for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you have not yet subscribed to this podcast, you can share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. You can find all our courses and the newsletter sign-up link at transformationmadeeasy.com. And perfect for Anna, perfect for us as we are heading off after
our next week's episode is
It Has Everything
to do with you.
We'll be back next,
So come on back,
and don't miss
being
being
here.
here.